Welcome to the Window Seat podcast, my friends. Today we have a very special guest. I don't know how to pronounce her name, and she's going to pretty much kill me if I try pronouncing it in the wrong way. So I'm going to let you do it yourself. Please introduce yourself to the camera.
Okay. My name is Taina with a T. Taina. But I tell everybody to call me Tai. It's
Tai.
easier. Yeah, Tai.
What's your full name, though?
Taina Lebois. That's a Belgium name. Malheiros. Taina Lebois Malheiros.
Taina Lebois
Malheiros.
Malheiros.
Yes,
It's
that's very good actually for first time. Yeah.
No, it's a difficult name because even Indians, a lot of them have very complex names, but I realize that people around the world, names are in their own languages. And yeah, it is a very complex name for sure. But the first thing I would ask you is, aren't you called a Latina?
For some people, yeah, some people not. Because I think that Latinos are more, this word is more related to speaking Spanish. Maybe this is just my perception, but I've kind of felt that. And since where I'm from, we don't speak Spanish. Some people don't say that, But some people do. I consider myself Latina.
Yeah. One of the main reasons is because a lot of people, I've traveled to the UK, I've traveled to a lot of places, and the constant thing is Latinos are hot. Everywhere, anybody. And I think it's because of the skin tone. And even Indians have a very similar skin tone where it's a little wheatish. And I think that's what appeals to the world. But yeah, where are you from? And I know that you're from Brazil, born and brought up there.
I'm from Brazil.
But yeah, tell me a little bit about Brazil though.
So Brazil is a very, very big country. Very, very big. I think I didn't realize how big Brazil was until I left Brazil, It's a very plural country. We say that there are many Brazils inside of Brazil because it's so big. Well, India is huge, but anyways, it's also Brazil is also very,
Brazil is very huge.
Yeah, very big. I think we're very nice people in general. There are some people that are not, obviously, everywhere in the world. Yes. But everybody that I meet whenever I'm traveling and I'm I'm from Brazil. And I think I am friendly. So I'm I'm from Brazil. I already smile, They are oh, really? I love Brazil. I love this. People who have been there love it.
Yeah.
So I think we're very friendly people, very good food, very, very good food. We drink a lot of alcohol, a lot. We like to party. We have big festivities like Carnival. And we have amazing landscapes too. And in general, it's hot. It's a tropical country. So yeah.
Tell me about the kind of culture and the kind of food. Tell me about the kind of people. Let's start off with, let's say, dance. Let's say music, art and culture. How is that there?
So, I think one of the biggest things that people actually know about Brazil in terms of music and dance is samba. It's the one that you see girls dancing like this.
They look
that's
so
Samba.
hard doing that.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It is hard. I can't do it. So this is Samba, and that's what, whenever we have Carnival, that's very, very big. They have these parades that a lot of women dress up and all of that.
Colorful.
Women and men, yeah. All types of people. And that's what they're doing. They are sambando. Sambando, yeah, they're dancing. They're dancing samba, pretty much. There are a lot of things. Like I said, it's very big in Brazil. So the south of Brazil is very different from the north. And I was raised kind of in the middle. So
What's the place called?
I am from Belo Horizonte. That means beautiful horizon.
Belo Horizonte.
Belo Horizonte. Belo
Horizonte.
Okay. But I lived in the capital, Brasília, for a very long time.
Oh, the capital is called Brasilia.
Yeah, it's not Rio, it's not São Paulo.
Oh, this is new for me.
Trivia question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brasilia,
yes.
Okay.
So a lot of people think, obviously, just like we think the capital of Turkey is Istanbul or
It's not?
It's not.
What? Well, what is the
It's
capital?
Ankara.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
seriously thought Istanbul was the capital.
No.
Shit, I should get my geography up. Okay. So
I'm bad at it too, but I've learned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Brasilia?
Brasilia. I lived for a long time in Brasilia. So I think I was raised. I grew up in a place in Brazil, like location that I got a little bit of everything. You know, in terms of culture, in terms of people, in terms of accents, because there are many different accents in Brazil. We can all understand each other, of course.
Yeah.
But it's very, very, very different. And what else about? Well, I think food in Brazil is great, like I told you. And the state that I was born in Belo Horizonte, and Belo Horizonte is the capital of Minas Gerais.
Minas Gerais.
Minas Gerais, yeah.
Okay.
That's a state. So to me, that's the best type of food in Brazil.
So does it have like spices and how is the food?
It's hard to explain. You have to go to Brazil and like we have things like there's something called the pão de queijo. It's very big. It's like cheese bread.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's kind of simple, but it's very good. We have a lot of things. I don't know.
What
We
did you
eat
grow
really
up
well.
eating the most? What did you like eating the most?
Rice and beans is the main thing, like for
Across.
lunch.
Okay.
Lunch, sometimes dinner, but like rice, this combination is big in Brazil. Then some sort of meat and vegetables. We eat a lot of that.
Are a lot of people non-vegetarian there? Most of them.
People what?
Non-vegetarian.
Yeah,
Most of them
I
are,
think
no?
like veganism and vegetarianism is growing a lot. But yeah, like in general, we eat a lot of meat. We have a lot of
What kind of meat?
barbecues.
What kind of meat do you guys eat?
Good meat. Yeah, mainly, I don't know how to say, like cow meat.
Beef.
Yeah, beef. Yes.
Yeah.
Beef, chicken,
Pork also? Those.
pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seafood also would be big, no? Because you guys are also on the coastline.
Yeah, kind of. It's expensive.
Really?
We eat a lot of fish, but it's expensive actually. It's not. There are some more expensive, but it's not the cheapest thing actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we eat a little bit of everything. But like in Brazil, I think we eat in terms of meat. We eat the most known meats. For example, some exotic meats, we don't have that much that culture. You know.
Yeah.
Some people do, but in general, is like beef, chicken, pork,
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, those are the big ones.
So when I was in London, I was staying in this one hostel and there was this guy cleaning up the place and I wanted to go and talk to him and I started speaking to him and he's like, I don't know English. And I'm like, okay, where are you from? And he's like, Brazil. So I naturally thought, okay, Spanish is the language. And I actually didn't know what the language was. And then when I Googled, I saw Portuguese and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was very, very surprised. Because Portuguese is like, usually people in Portugal only speak the language, but I didn't know that Portuguese is spoken in Brazil. Is it that Portuguese is spoken throughout the whole country?
Yes. Actually, it was a surprise. A lot of people, like, these are the biggest mistakes that people make about Brazil. First, the capital,
Yeah.
then the language.
Do they call it Brazilian? The language?
Oh, yeah, some, yeah. But most people say
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
And it makes sense in terms of like Brazil is surrounded by Spanish speakers, Spanish speaking countries. So it makes sense that you
Correct.
would assume. Actually, nowadays, I don't know how Spanish is not the second language in Brazil. It should be.
Yeah.
It makes sense. But we were colonized by Portugal. So,
okay.
And that was different. I think all the other, like most of the other, I'm not very good at history, but as far as I know, Spain colonized the other ones. That's why most speak Spanish. But Brazil was Portugal. So that's why we speak. It's different from Portuguese from Portugal and Brazilian Portuguese. I like ours better, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we can understand each other pretty well.
So in terms of, a lot of people in Brazil speak English? or are they picking up the languages? I think second language, no?
They're picking up as a second language. I was an English teacher for a long time, so I was there kind of trying to help people learn English. Everybody, like, it's very common that people study English, but not a lot of people are actually able to speak.
Yeah, because
it's
not your first
things.
language to talk.
Yeah,
no?
Two different things. But I think it's growing a lot.
Yeah. I think a lot of countries around. I mean, even Turkey as a place where we are sitting right now. I mean, a lot of people don't speak the language, but I see a couple of people trying to pick up the language and get there. And I mean, India was very similar, like, let's say about 20, 30 years back, a lot of people didn't speak the language, but now they made it mostly majority of the, I would say, metropolitan cities or even like little second, like the second biggest, like, how do I call it? Like the primary cities and the secondary cities are now picking it up as first languages. But yeah, a lot of places, even in India, people don't speak a lot of English.
Yeah. Here too, if you think about it, it's very basic. And like even in, for example, when I arrived in Turkey, I was in Istanbul first, just in the airport. In the airport,
people still don't talk. I swear. Yeah.
And I was like, to me, to work in an airport, you should know English. Like,
correct. There are international travelers coming. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think one of the biggest things Brazil is known for is, of course, football. Do they call it soccer there?
No, sorry.
It's
actually,
football only, no? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, as I kept growing up, Neymar was a big inspiration for me. Like, I got his cap, I got his number written on me. When I see a lot of videos of Brazil and all, I see people playing on the, like, there are videos of people playing on the streets, people obsessed with the sport of football. Is it truly something like that there?
Yeah, it is. Like, especially, it's kind of sexist, but like, especially for boys. Like, if you have a boy, I think one of the first things that you're gonna subscribe him to is a football school. That's one of the first things that you're gonna do as a parent. So yeah, it's actually it's true. It's big. I personally don't love football. I'm a bad Brazilian. I don't love football. I don't love carnival. I don't love the things that it's some of the things that are very big there. But it is true. Like, and I know like that this is one of the things that whenever people think about Brazil, they think about the soccer ball.
Correct.
The football. Yeah, that's it. That's the first thing that whenever they think about it, it's the reference.
Correct. I mean, it's the same for India. The first thing people think about India is cricket. Even for us, as you keep growing up, the first thing which you're grown up to is cricket, because it's like a religion for us at this point.
Okay. I didn't know that actually.
Seriously, it is huge. People all around the country play it. Let it be for fun. Let it be for. I mean, we have the biggest cricket board in the world now because of this.
Wow.
Yeah. And like even women's cricket is picking up really fast now. It was not something which was big for about 5 to 6 years back. But I think, it's even similar for football, now it's slowly picking up even in our country. But yeah, I mean, that's where the identity of it comes, no?
Yes. Yes, true.
But yeah, so how many years did you live in Brazil?
Almost all of them of my life. I'm 28. Pretty much my whole life. When I was 17, I studied for 6 months in the United States. So I was there for 6 months. Then I was an au pair later for almost a year. So yeah, I think pretty much all of my life. I haven't had an address for 3 years now, like my address with my name and my bills. I left Brazil. I came back and everything, but I left Brazil and left like an address and a home in 2021. So
it's so weird, no? Like even for me, like a lot of my friends, when they ask me now in the past 1 month, like, where are you staying and all of that, I'm like, I technically don't have an address. I'm just going around. But yeah, my temporary place is this country. I'm here at this point. But yeah, I'm pretty much traveling around. But you mentioned United States. I mean, it's very close to you guys also. Like, I mean, it's the next up and down. Didn't the culture from there rub off on a lot of you guys? Because as far as I see it, it hasn't. Let it be in terms of pop culture or music or food. I don't think.
Yeah. Yes. No, actually, we are influenced a lot by the United States. I listen to a lot of pop songs. Like I think that's kind of ugly to say, but that's the truth. I listen to more pop songs than Brazilian songs, like pop, international pop. I really like it, like because English is very big in my life. I started studying when I was 11. I was always good at it, so I always loved it. And then I lived in the United States. I came back later, so I love the language and I love listening to songs in it. But yeah, I think in terms of music, a lot.
What
Movies,
about
series, those things are kind of everything that they produce, like Hollywood, it's just everywhere else. Yeah. Not food so much. Well, they don't have in my opinion, the United States don't really have like a cuisine or something, right? So
the fast food, I mean, I think I'd get killed to tell this, but yeah, the fast food chains and all of that is their cuisine technically. That's so cute. Look at him.
Oh.
He's just in his vibe. So yeah, you told me, so 2021 you left Brazil and then you told me you shifted to Colombia, which is your second favorite home at this point.
Yeah.
So tell me on what made you shift from Brazil to Colombia?
Actually, I left Brazil in 2021 in October to be an au pair. Things didn't go as I expected. I was like, I'm going to be here for 2 years with the same family. It was actually an Indian family.
Well, you told me Albert. What was the place again?
Au pair. This is like babysitting. This is a program, cultural program.
In a different place.
Yes. Okay. So the idea is, as an au pair, you go to stay in a family's house and you take care of the kids.
Okay, got it.
Your nanny, yeah. And then you get an allowance, like a monthly, not monthly, weekly allowance. It's not that much because you live with them. They pay for everything else.
Correct,
so you get just something so you can, like, because you're still working, but you have everything else.
Yeah.
You live in their family, in their house. And
was this in Brazil only or was it in Colombia?
No, this was in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did that for like 6 months actually. And then I continued in the United States, traveling, kind of working a little bit until I did my first volunteering experience. Because I had traveled, I already traveled a lot in Brazil, but there's a lot more to see, much more to see. It's like, it never ends. So my 2 first experiences as a solo traveler were in Brazil. And then my third one was in the United States. So I worked for like 10 months. And then I was like, I want to leave the United States because it was a little bit hard moment for me there. I was like, I'm going to have a vacation first because I only worked. And I'm going to volunteer. I found this place in Colorado Springs. Very, very nice hostel, very, like, a lot of volunteers, a lot of people in the same condition as I was. And I think this was the most memorable thing that has ever happened to me.
That's when your life changed?
Traveling, yes.
Yeah.
Because I met my husband there. I think I'm romantic and like this, I think this was the biggest thing because this changed everything. It changed my life. It changed what I was doing and how I was, my plans. It changed a lot of things. And he's from Colombia. So that's why now Colombia is my second home. I love it. I love the culture. I learned the language with him, Spanish.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then I stayed like a year almost in the United States. Then I came for the first time with him. He came with me, actually. I already had plans to come to Europe for the first time. It was great. We traveled, backpacked here and there. And then on 2023, we were in between countries. We were a little bit in Colombia, a little bit in Brazil. And this year, we're still trying to figure it out. He's in France right now. But we'll meet soon and probably go back to living in Colombia.
You know, it was so cute on yesterday when we were talking, no? And you were talking about your husband. It was so cute because I'm not the best guy in relationships. I've always screwed it up or I've done something or the other to mess up my relationships. But like when you spoke about it and when that excitement and when your eyes were glowing about it, I'm like, oh God, this is what I want to live for. This is what I want. Like if I'm looking at a future with somebody, this is what I want myself to feel like at that point.
Yeah.
And that's why I told you, okay, if you're okay with it, I would love to include it into it also. But so when you left for the first time, weren't you scared? It's a lot, no, like leaving everything and then you're going on a new journey altogether.
I was scared, but in general, this was one of my first tattoos. I was scared, but I was always brave too, I think. Even when I was younger, I think I was braver. But to me, being in a different and new, something new. I like new things. I've never been here. I've never heard this language. I've never eaten this.
Yeah.
I love new things. I grew up moving around a lot in Brazil. I lived in very different places because my parents got divorced when I was very little, and they always lived in different states in Brazil.
Okay.
So I was a little bit with my dad, a little bit with my mom, a few years here, a few years there. So I was always changing schools and changing friends and changing houses.
Yeah.
So this became the normal to me.
Correct.
So it is nice. It is scary, but it's also very exciting. Like, you know, I think
it's a new journey every day.
Yeah, I always think about it's going to be new.
Yeah.
It's going to be different. I could be different. I'm not. I'm still the same, but obviously I'm changing and growing, and I don't know. Since I went to the United States when I was 17 for the first time, and I lived in I lived in a family's house too. They hosted me. That was very young. At that moment I was more scared. But I went anyway.
Yeah.
And I think this was my first barrier because I was like, I had nobody but them, the host family, but friends, family. I had a boyfriend at the time. He stayed, obviously. So I think since I kind of grew up having to be brave, having to say, okay, I'm scared, but I'm going anyway.
What do you tell yourself in those times?
I don't say much. I think I just pack my things and I'm like, okay, this is my ticket. Here you go.
No thinking much. You're just doing it.
I don't know.
That's what the courage is for.
I think I just go. I am anxious in general, but at the same time, I notice that I feel the things only when they're happening. So I know that I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to miss, for example, going to that place every day, but I don't miss it already. I'm not suffering from anticipation. I'm going to miss it later. So this also goes for this. Like I overthink a little bit, but I go. And then whenever I'm there, I know I'll feel a lot of things, you know, but my thoughts usually don't stop me from going. You know, my feelings, I'm like, no, let's do it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Because I already got my expectations frustrated many times, for good and bad. So
you just want to do
I
it.
go. I'm like, yeah, let's see what it is. Let's see how it's gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, so since you've gone around and you've volunteered in different hostels, what is it like volunteering? I've never done it. I've always thought of doing it. But first of all, what is the concept? A lot of people around don't know what the concept of volunteering is, how it helps you travel around to different places. I understood by talking to people like you, but I would love to want others also to know what is volunteering, how does it help you travel more?
Okay. So volunteering to me is one of the most intelligent ways of traveling. Why? Because you can travel more for longer. You spend less money. That's why you can keep traveling longer. You meet a lot of people, a lot of people. So volunteering I use a platform called World Packers, which is really, really good. There's also Workaway. I've never tried, but The idea is that this platform connects the hosts, the hostels, the farms, the NGOs, many different types of places that need people with travelers.
Yeah.
So, for example, I wanted to come here to Turkey and I saw this place on the website, and on the website you see the agreement. What's the deal? So the deal is working, for example, 24 hours a week, you get 1 day off, so you work 6 days.
Yeah.
You always have the basics of volunteering. The exchange is always accommodation.
Yeah.
But the other things are like extra. If you have food, if you have yoga classes, if they pick you up, those things are extra. But the minimum is always a bed for you to sleep.
For free.
Yes, for this
In exchange for your work.
Exactly,
Yeah.
in exchange for your
So
work.
instead of a salary, they're basically giving you a place to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no money involved.
Yeah.
Because they are, if you think about it, they're providing you a home. You can shower, you can sleep, you can cook. Sometimes you can eat, like, because they will give you food. So this is also very good. Why? Because if you're a tourist, how long do you usually stay on places? Like on a
7 to 10 days.
and that's even a lot.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Because in 7 to 10 days, well, it depends on how much money you have, but like you'll spend a lot.
Correct.
But 7 to 10 days. Volunteering, you can stay like a month, 2. So you don't have, whenever you come to places, when you go to places and you volunteer, you don't go as a tourist. You go as a local. You feel more as a local. You go to the supermarket to buy your things. You don't go out to eat in restaurants every day. You don't spend that money, you know, because you're like, I'm home, I'm gonna cook.
Correct.
You don't rush to see all of the famous places because you have time.
Correct.
You're like, I'm gonna go this week, I'm gonna go to one place. And then if I'm not feeling okay because like physically, or I just don't feel like it's too hot or it's too cold, whatever it is, it's okay. I can stay at home because as a tourist in general, we come with like an itinerary.
Correct.
We have to do it. We have to go to places. I don't like that rush.
Correct.
You know, I like to slow travel.
You're experiencing that place. You're not understanding how it is if you're not doing
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
And you talk to people from that place. You know, for example, you ask people, I didn't want the best beach because probably the best beach here would be private.
Correct.
I want like when you, Turkish person, want to go for a swim in your city, where do you go?
Correct.
You know, that's the idea, I think.
The true local experience of what it is. So is it safe doing this, volunteering in different places?
To me, it has always been. This platform that I use, Wordpackers, they also, like, you pay annual membership.
Okay, how much is that?
I think it's like they have different plans. So it's like $50 or $60, something like that. They have different plans.
Okay.
But they kind of help you out too. There's kind of a travel insurance. Like if something happens, if you go to a place and they don't do what it says, like they don't give you food, or you're working more hours, you can contact them. Look, I came to this place. It's this, and this is not the agreement. That's what they're making me to do. They help you find another place.
Oh, wow.
For example. Okay. Depending on the plan that you have a better insurance. So maybe they will even like cover a few nights in a hotel. While
they're getting you in a place.
So it's very nice. And traveling as a woman is always a little bit harder, like for us than for men.
Correct.
But I felt safe. I think Turkey right now, this is the most different country that I have been. It's different. Men stare a lot.
Yeah.
Also because this is a beach city, so you are in your bikinis, your swimsuits and all of that. So I think it's a lot of skin for them. So they're like, I'm gonna enjoy this. It's very different from what they're used to. but nothing has ever happened to me. I don't know if I'm lucky, blessed, or but
Yeah.
you know, I felt safe. You have to be smart,
True. True.
not trust everybody, not talk to everybody that you meet. You know, like be careful, be smart.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So when I had met a, like in, I think the previous city I was in, I met a female traveler and she was telling me about how it's so hard for women to travel around because either everybody asking for their number, either everybody wants to take them out. There's nobody who wants to be their normal friend or just be there as a travel buddy trying to show them around.
Yeah.
Like one of the most screwed up things was one of the hostel owners of the of the place called this girl, told her that okay, I'll show you around the city, and he wanted to take her around and things like that. And I think the age difference between them was what 30, 40 years, and she was like, this is too traumatizing for me at this point on how I can do it. But again, at the same time, that, like as you said, World Packers or other companies like that ensure that there is this bit of safety. And I think, like compared to how life was before, compared to how the world was before, it's becoming more open for women to travel.
Yeah.
It is becoming more safer. Like there are a lot of companies coming on, and a lot of people also having to be more aware about how travel is. How so now? How many years has it been since you've been traveling like this?
my first solo trip was in 2018. So I didn't travel all of the years, like 18, 19, 20, 20. Well, we had the COVID and everything. But the first time was in 2018. So like maybe 6 years, kind of. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you one question. So when you're volunteering, they cover your stay and they cover food and things like that. But other than that, also you do require money to have to travel around places or to have a little bit of money. Is this what you have from your savings or what you worked other places, or how does that work?
Yeah, right now I'm not working. So this what I'm like whenever I go out and spend, it's my savings.
Okay.
But because of COVID too, after COVID, like remote jobs are more and more popular.
Correct.
So for a while I traveled. I did this while working remotely. So
Yeah,
that
I
was
see a
good.
lot of people in hostels actually working and then
Yeah.
traveling. It's very innovative because technically I'm also working here, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not still paying me for it yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, correct. But yeah, so in terms of me going to different hostels, you get to meet a lot of new people. You get to connect with a lot of people, and every day is a new story for you.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell me about a story which is something good which has happened to you and something bad which has happened to you?
So something bad that has happened to me. I think I had 3 experiences, and this is my 6th time volunteering. Okay, so in 3 of my experiences,
Yeah.
I had bad roommates, like bad colleagues, work colleagues, other volunteers. And to be honest, they like the ones that I arrived, and in the beginning, I always try to be friendly and nice to everybody. We're going to be working together.
Correct.
We can even become friends. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Since the beginning, I tried to be friendly, and these 3 people in 3 different places, I didn't really like the vibe. And after some time, 3 different people, 3 different places, all of them were kicked out.
Oh.
Yes.
Fuck.
They were kicked out for different reasons.
Oh god.
Yeah. I think 2 of them were like just not the vibe of the hostel, creating more problems than finding solutions, and complaining a lot about schedule, about this, asking for too much. And one of them actually was in Napoli, in Italy, and she was one of the volunteers, and she was a bartender. Her position was as a bartender, because there are different things that you can do in a hostel. Depends on the hostel. She was a bartender, and we had like 50% of discount in the bar, volunteers. But she would be like making drinks and sipping here and there, and there. She wouldn't like get a drink and pay. No. So she was like, oh, a little bit of vodka, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then she finished her shift, I think, at midnight or something. She would be drunk. She would go out. And the next day, she would, like, I would wake up because in general, I have like morning shifts. I'm more of a morning person. And I would find her in a bench, like that nobody should be there. It's not a bed. So she was on a bench, on a table, sleeping. And sometimes she was naked, 100% naked. We slept on at this hostel. We slept in a room, huge room. I don't recommend. 14 beds. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And her bed was by the bathroom.
Yeah.
So everybody would come and go.
God, yeah.
And she was 100% naked. 100%.
Very confident girl.
Very confident girl. Very, very confident girl. Yeah, so like, and she would have this attitude and like, we're like, we don't want to see you naked, you know? We're good. Like, anyway, I think this is actually very disrespectful with everybody else, you know, not just the other coworkers, but with the travelers, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's true.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird. You when you are in a place and people get kicked out, you're like, could it happen to me? Did I like you kind of watch out? But then I understood that it wasn't like them. I never had an experience that was like the hostel. They are, you know, bad people. It was usually the people that were kicked out. They gave them reasons to leave.
Yeah.
And I like. With some, I had some issues, like some problems, because living together with anybody can be your mom, you know, the person that you love the most in the world.
Yeah.
There's a limit.
Correct.
There's a moment that you're like, I can't deal with you know, anymore. So if it's people that you didn't even choose to be together, you just ended up at the same place at the same time, a lot of things can happen, you know.
But you're still okay with doing this? You're still okay with going around volunteering and all?
Yeah. I think whenever I get to a place, like, I'm okay. And then I'm like, yeah, this is exciting. It's nice. I'm going to meet a lot of people. And then sometimes when I get to a place, I'm like, no, I'm too old for this. Like, I need my privacy. No, actually, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's
like,
still that rush which you get every single time.
There's a part of me that really likes doing this. There's a part of me who also feels like you're married, like maybe you're a little bit older. You should have your own house, your kitchen, your things, you know, that people are not messing around. It's only yours.
Correct.
Your bedroom, with everything. Privacy.
Correct. So what kind of a traveler are you? Are you the kind of person who's always planning out everything and be like, okay, I'm doing this and this every day? Or are you I know that you told me that you're a kind of person who loves actually experiencing the place, staying there for a good amount of time. That's one part of it. Then there's another part of it where, are you a mountain person? Are you a beach person? Are you a city person? What kind of a person are you? Or are you a mixture of all of it together?
No. First of all, no, I don't plan my trips, to be honest. I do what I feel like in the moment, what I think I need in the moment. So before here, I volunteered in a place that I didn't have contact with a lot of people. It was my husband and me, pretty much. It was kind of a big property, guest house thing. The closest city was 15 minutes away by car. And it was a very small city.
Oh, God.
So the landscape was amazing. So very peaceful, very quiet, nature, amazing.
Yeah.
In the south of France. But I was there for 2 months and I was like, I need to see people.
2 months.
2 months. I need to see people. Like, I need to have contact with people. I need to be able to go out and go to a restaurant and I don't know. And it was cold. Pretty much all of the time. Because, this year, spring was cold and summer took a little bit longer to come. It's still ongoing, actually. So it was cold, and I was like, I need
And you're
sun.
from a warm country.
I need exactly. I need the beach. I need to be by I that's what I needed. So I decided, and I needed to leave the Schengen area. So I was like, Turkey could be good.
Yeah.
Albania, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I applied, and I was accepted. And I was like, perfect. But I wanted a beach place, kind of a touristic city, close to centers, you know, and I wanted in a hostel. I didn't want in a farm, for example, you know, because I would have kind of a similar, I would have a similar experience, and I wanted something different. I'm not much of a cold person. I love the mountains, but I love nature in general. But like skiing, those things are not. That's not my cup of tea at all. Like I don't like. I don't have experience with the cold that much. With snow, with like very very low temperatures. That's.
I don't think people like us are made for it, because like even for me, when I'm living in the UK, if it gets cold, I'm a sad boy. I'm sad throughout, and I'm
it affects your mood.
Yeah,
totally.
You can't talk to people. You can't interact. You're always concentrating on it being cold, and it's so disgusting because it's like your mind is always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think people who are grown up that way, I think we're just meant to stick to warmer places.
Yeah.
And that way, Turkey is so beautiful because it's warm, it's nice, it's not too sweaty. I think now it's because it's a little summerish. It's a little sweaty. But yeah, I want to ask you a question, but I don't know if it's right. But you can not answer if it's fine. How come you have short hair? Because it takes a lot of guts, a lot of confidence to actually chop it off, especially for a woman.
To be honest,
it's easier to maintain.
Because I think the first time, because I have had my hair very short like that. I think the first time that I cut very short was in 2019. After that, I let it grow. When I got married, my hair was like super long, super long. I had been letting it grow. And then I cut it again. I think the reason was it's too hot, to be honest. It kept bothering me because I have a lot of hair. My hair is curly. So like I was all the time with my hair up. So I was like, I'm not using my hair.
Yeah, correct.
Then I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to have to do this. Like I literally felt like I was not using my hair properly. and that other people could actually. So I cut it and I donated.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, because I was like, this could be. And when I went to cut it for, like, again, I was just like, cut it, please, as much as you can, as short as you can, because it was very hot. I was in Brazil at this moment. It was last year. And she was like, your hair is so beautiful. It's very curly. And she's like, there is a place that receives a kids cancer center. They receive hair to make like little wigs for them. And your hair is like, it would look great on a kid, you know, on a little girl. And I was like, shave it, just do it. Just do it. But it was really, I think in general, I didn't feel like I was using my hair properly. And it was too hot. I was like, no, I'm not a person, how can I explain this? I don't remember the word in English, but.
What's it in Portuguese? In
Portuguese is vaidosa. Is like when you know, women that take a lot of care of themselves. I'm not that person. You know, I have my nails done. This is like once every 6 months this happens. This is a coincidence. But I'm not that type of person in general. Like not a lot of makeup. I'm just not like that. So to me, hair is just hair. You know, obviously there are some moments that I feel insecure. I look myself in the mirror and I look all of the other girls in general with long hair, and I think, am I less of a girl, you know, because I don't have long hair? I question myself sometimes. And then I'm like, no, that's not what being a woman or a girl means, you know? So I know it can grow back. It already did. And it's just practical. It's very practical.
No doubt, man. You know, when So I think this was, I think 5-6 years back before my mom passed away. Even she cut her hair very short and she did the same thing. And like from that day, I've always had that respect for people. And I'm like, you're doing it for a cause and you're doing it because it's comfortable at the end of the day.
Yes.
Shorter hair is so much more comfortable. But yeah, it's that confidence of what you have to put yourself out in the world and be like, I am this, I am doing this,
Yeah.
I don't care about how the world thinks of me. It's my personality of what you judge me for, not my appearance.
Yeah.
And I mean, that struck such a big mark in my head from that day. And like,
It is.
hands off, man. Respect to you for
Thank
that.
you.
Respect. Like, you should never think of yourself less of a woman. Never.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I know.
I mean, I'm waiting. I would definitely like donate my hair also once I'm back.
You have nice hair.
It's no, I'm also like little receding hairlines happening, but
This is one of the things that I love most about the story of how I met my husband.
Tell me.
How I met your mother. How I met your father. It's
Yeah.
I'm very romantic and I think I always wanted to have a very cool story. Love story.
Yeah.
And to me, it is. You know, he always tells me, like, what are the odds that we met here? You're from Brazil. I'm from Colombia. We actually left our countries at the same month. We met almost, not almost a year later, but 9 months later. And in the United States, a place that I was like leaving already, he was there for the second time. Anyway, it's just a nice story to tell people. Whenever I tell everybody, like, I'm Brazilian, he's Colombian, we met in the United States.
Yeah.
We're figuring out life
Yeah.
because it is actually hard to have a
Yeah.
relationship with somebody that's not from your country.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. But we have a very nice love story, you know, how we met. I think it's
Tell me.
something that it will never get boring, you know, to tell people how it was and how we felt because I fell in love with him like this. Yeah. And then
Tell
I
me
was
about
like,
it. Don't keep me curious now. I want to know.
I saw him and I was like, he's very cute. Like,
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
And then I started talking to him and I just started liking him
Did you make
more.
the first move?
Yes. Because whenever it was
Good
very...
one. Good. That's called guts.
Yes,
Super.
of course. I
Yeah.
was like, I looked at him and I was like, he's very interesting, man.
Yeah.
I loved his voice. I loved the way he spoke English with like a Spanish accent.
Yeah.
And he was very kind, like sweet. I like men who are like sweet, kind, you know. Those men who are like, no, I'm a man. If you have to prove it,
Yeah.
you know. So he was just sweet. And then I was like, I'm going to make you fall in love with me. We'll see. And I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, after a week, we had our first kiss.
Yeah.
I made the move.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we gave just it was a quick kiss.
Yeah.
And then I looked at him and I was like, I'm going to go to bed. And then I left and I was like, oh my God, no, I rushed everything. Like it was pressure. I shouldn't have pressured him. I was like overthinking.
Yeah.
And then on the next day, I woke up and he was there. I was like, good morning. I pretended nothing happened. And then when I was alone with him, I was like, look, sorry about last night. I think I pressured you. Like, we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I really like you, but we don't have to do this. So we don't have to kiss. We can just be friends. And then he kissed me.
I was waiting for that.
He was like, no. It was not pressure. Like, I wasn't ready at that moment, but I wanted to. And then we have been together for 2 years. Yeah.
That's so cute.
It's not that long time, but yeah, we have been, since we met, we have been together for...
So which country did you guys meet in?
In the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where in the United States?
In Colorado Springs.
Colorado.
Yeah.
That's
it was very
crazy,
nice.
man.
Yeah, very nice.
This is definitely a story to tell people.
Yeah.
But my friend, Tia.
Thai.
I'm always going to get this wrong. Taya. Wait, I'll try. Let me try. Taina.
Taina.
Okay, Taina, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Seriously, what a lovely conversation. I've learned so much from you about your culture, about the kind of person you are. And honestly, I feel like I made a good friend today.
No, of course.
I'm going to stay in touch with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.